हेलो गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। आज हम करेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 15 क्लास 10th का साइंस। इस चैप्टर में सबसे पहले ये देखेंगे कि आखिर इन्वायरमेंट, चैप्टर में इन्वायरमेंट है क्या और ये इसके क्या कंपोनेंट हैं और कौन कौन से फैक्टर पर इन्वायरमेंट डिपेंड करता है। सो कमिंग टू द फर्स्ट, that what is our environment, that environment includes all those things and sets of condition that influences the human life. Means environment consists of two important things, that is biotic and abiotic component, and all these influences the life of an organism like growth, survival, development and reproduction. So what is this environment composed of? So this environment is composed of the physical surrounding, as I told, physical surrounding like air, temperature, water, earth, soil, climate and living beings and climatic conditions. Means we can say that our environment is composed of biotic and abiotic component. So biotic is actually living things are called biotic, abiotic are nothing but non-living things. So waste types and their effect on our environment. Means what kind of waste do we see in our surrounding and what kind of these wastes are there, what is the impact of these waste on our environment. So first of all, let's see what is this waste. So waste is the useless, leftover or discarded substance which are not useful to us anymore. They are called as waste substances. Now how does these waste substances produced? Improper management of waste that is generated by the various activities leads to the environmental imbalance. So waste are produced due to the improper management. If we have a proper management, so less amount of waste production may be there. So these wastes are divided into two categories. First is biodegradable waste and second is non-biodegradable waste. Now what is this biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste? The waste which can be decomposed easily by the action of microorganisms, they are known as biodegradable waste. Such type of waste includes like the peels of the vegetables, the grasses, the leaves of the plants. These all are biodegradable waste. So non-biodegradable waste are the waste which cannot be decomposed by the action of microorganisms, or they take a very long time to decompose. Okay, so you can see these types of wastes over here. So we are having degradable and non-biodegradable waste. So first, biodegradable, as I told, they can be decomposed naturally by the action of microorganisms like bacteria, fungi. They are biodegradable, and these waste can be also utilized for the manure purpose or compost. So these actually waste increases the fertility of the soil, that is like garbage, sewage, livestock waste, etc. Now what is the effect of biodegradable waste over the environment? So they act as a pollutants only when their quantities becomes more or large. Means these biodegradable waste becomes a pollutants only when their quantity becomes very large in number. So these kind of waste, means biodegradable waste, have very less number of impacts on our environment. So these effects are as follows. First, if decomposition of biodegradable waste takes place, then it leads to foul smell. You might have seen somewhere that whatever the garbage is collected from our houses and they are kept somewhere in carrying van, so those produces foul smell. So foul smell is nothing but decomposition of the waste. So decomposition of this waste produces foul smell. Dumping of industrial wastes reduces the fertility of the soil. So if we dump some industrial waste, it leads to the infertility, or you can say reduces the fertility of the soil and leads to the reduction in the crop production. Then if these biodegradable wastes are there, that is also a source of flies and mosquito which may spread nearby our surroundings. So flies and mosquitoes are the two important organisms which are carrier of disease. They are carrier of disease. So where this dumping of these pollution should be done, means dumping of these kind of waste into underwater bodies also leads to water pollution. Means these kind of waste should not be dumped in the water bodies, because it pollutes the water bodies and it becomes very harmful to those organisms that lives in the aquatic system. So these are the effects of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Now what is this non-biodegradable waste? Let's see about the non-biodegradable waste. Now non-biodegradable waste, as I told, that these waste have no impact of microorganisms. Means these waste cannot be decomposed by the action of microorganisms. They are called non-biodegradable waste, and these are very, very toxic in nature, because these takes a long time to decompose in the environment. So it may be also inert as well, accumulate in the environment and becomes toxic for the environment. So most of these non-biodegradable waste results from human activity, like radioactive waste, plastic, heavy metals like arsenic, aluminium, etc. So these kind of waste are only produced. So I want to say that all kind of waste are only produced by the human activities or anthropogenic activities. Means all these wastes are only produced by the anthropogenic activity or by man or human, because they are responsible. Development is the requirement for the human beings, and due to the development there is increase in the pollution. So these all are nothing but a source of pollution. These non-biodegradable is nothing but a source of pollution, or even biodegradable. So what effects can be observed on this earth? What is the effects of this non-biodegradable over the earth? Means substances like radioactive, lead, they lead to a pollution. Means they are the major source of pollution. They also pollute the water and harm the aquatic system, that is plants and animals, which survives inside the aquatic system. So these are the effect of the non-biodegradable waste, and this non-biodegradable waste takes a longer time to decompose. Okay, so coming to the next topic of this chapter, we will do now what is this ecosystem. Next topic is ecosystem. So let's come about the ecosystem. So in ecosystem, what do we find about ecosystem? So first of all, ecosystem is the structural and functional unit of biosphere. What is biosphere? You know that where there is interaction of lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, that forms biosphere. So there is an interaction of lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Lithosphere means earth particles, or litho means rocks, sphere means layer. So here interaction of all these sphere takes place, so that forms a biosphere. So you can say it is an ecological unit where regular input of energy and circulation of matter takes place. So all the biotic and abiotic component interact each other. Any ecosystem, is only formed when there is biotic and abiotic component interact each other, means living and non-living, then it forms an ecosystem. Suppose terrestrial ecosystem or pond ecosystem is there. So in pond ecosystem, what is the non-living things? That is air, means oxygen inside the water. Then after oxygen there is water is nothing but non-living. Then temperature, the temperature of that ecosystem or temperature of the aquatic system should be also maintained. So these are non-living. Now what is the living inside? That may be the aquatic plants, that may be aquatic animals. So if these both of these organisms do not interact each other, it will not form any kind of ecosystem. We are living on the terrestrial ecosystem, so you know that there is everything, means all the plants and animals are there in terrestrial ecosystem, and there is also temperature, water, then air, earth, lithosphere. So these all comes under the non-living things. So you can say that all these, obviously there is interaction of living and non-living things. Okay, so now types of ecosystem. What are the types of ecosystem? You know that types of ecosystem can be classified into two categories. One is natural ecosystem, means natural ecosystem are those ecosystem which are formed or which exist in this environment without any human support. That is called as natural system, means these ecosystems are formed naturally by the nature. Like terrestrial, we have not made this whole terrestrial ecosystem, or we have not made this earth, we have not made the desert, grassland or forest or aquatic system. We have not made this aquatic system like ocean, rivers, pond, this river, sea. So these are naturally made. So these kind of ecosystems are called as natural ecosystem. Then second one is artificial ecosystem, means such ecosystem which is created and maintained by human effort, human beings, right? So such type of ecosystem is called as artificial man-made ecosystem. Okay, so under this artificial ecosystem, agro ecosystem is the largest man-made ecosystem. Agro based means agricultural ecosystem is the largest man-made ecosystem. Then you can take example like botanical garden, parks, fields. All these are nothing but man-made ecosystem. So I think you might have understood about this topic. If you have any doubt, you may ask by commenting or by making comments in comment section. Now coming to the next component of this ecosystem, we are having the components of ecosystem. What is the ecosystem composed of? So this ecosystem refers to both, as I told that environment refers to both physical as well as biological condition. Physical condition, as I told, temperature, here temperature, then water, these all are the physical, while biological condition includes all living beings. You can say in other words that it includes biotic and abiotic components of the earth. Means components of ecosystem is nothing but biotic and abiotic. So what is this biotic components? We have discussed already, but let me tell you, these biotic components includes all the living organism present in the ecosystem, that is plants and animals. Plants, animals means all the animals and plants comes in this category. Now on the basis of the food they consume, they have been classified into three categories. Which is classified? This biotic component has been classified into three categories. First, you know that these living organisms can be classified as a plant or animals, and then they can be classified on the basis of their feeding habit or food they consume. So they have been classified as a producer, consumers, decomposers. So who are producers. Okay, so these producers means all these green plants, all these green plants have the capability, and some or other blue green algae which can produce food by the process of photosynthesis. They are called producers. Means all the green plants and some certain kind of bacteria can produce food, so they are called producers. They are also called as autotrophs. Means plants, all the categories of plants are also called as autotrophs. So they absorb, means plant absorb this radiant energy of sun and produces organic compounds. Produces organic compounds means produces in the form of food. You can write over here food also. So they convert solar energy into chemical energy first, and thus called autotrophs. Due to this reason, because they have capability to convert this solar energy into chemical energy, so they are called as autotrophs. And they are a good source of providing oxygen to us in the environment. You know it very well. So all the plants take up CO2 and release oxygen, and they also balance the composition of the carbon dioxide and air or oxygen in our environment, or they also balance the composition of air. Second component which is divided in this is consumer. Consumers means those organisms which are dependent on plant or producers or autotrophs. They are called for their nutritional requirement, means for their food. So they are called as producers, and they also consume food prepared by the producers. So they are called consumer. Consumers means होता है जो दूसरों पर डिपेंड करे. तो दूसरे पर डिपेंड करने वाले कौन कौन से होते हैं? प्रोड्यूसर्स. जैसे हम सभी जो है कंज्यूमर हैं, हम दूसरे पर डिपेंड करते हैं. ओके, प्रोड्यूसर्स मीन्स दूसरे पर डिपेंड करते हैं. कंज्यूमर्स, ओके, खाने के लिए हम किस पर डिपेंड करते हैं? टोटली वी डिपेंड ऑन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स फॉर आवर फूड. मीन्स वी गेट food in the form of milk. We get in the food in the form of milk, then butter, cheese, then curd, etc. And those who are non-vegetarian, they consume meat also. So they are called as heterotrophs. Means consumers can be called as a heterotrophs. So heterotrophs definition can be also asked, and you may write the same as, means those organisms that depends on others for their food, they are called as heterotrophs or consumers. So they can be classified into three categories. Just I was talking about that, those who consumes meat, and they are classified into three categories. That is herbivores, means those organisms, those animals that eat grass only, or you can say in other words, grass eating animals are called as herbivores. Animals that feed on plants and animals, they are called as omnivores. And animals that feed on their animals, means animals which feed on another animals, they are called as omnivores. जैसे शेर किसको खाएगा? डियर को खाएगा. तो उसी तरह से हम कह सकते हैं शेर किसको खाएगा? गोट को खा सकता है. तो जो कार्निवोर्स होते हैं वो दूसरे एनिमल्स का अपना शिकार बनाते हैं, तो उनको हम कहते हैं कार्निवोर्स. ओमनिवोर्स क्या होते हैं? ये दोनों पर डिपेंड करते हैं, यानी प्लांट्स को भी खाते हैं और एनिमल्स पर भी खाते हैं. जैसे ह्यूमन में ये टेंडेंसी है. दे आर बोथ वेजिटेरियन एंड नॉन वेजिटेरियन, एंड बियर्स ऑल्सो. नाउ व्हाट इज डीकंपोजर्स? कमिंग टू द decomposers are those microorganisms which feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Dead and decaying organic matter means they break down the remains of the dead and decay plants. Dead and decaying matters, or they break down the remains of dead and decaying plants and animals. Because you might have seen that sometimes some organisms die and it is just left in those environment. So after 2 to 3 days, if you find those organisms are not found there, यानी हम ये कह सकते हैं कि कोई ऑर्गेनिज्म कहीं मर गया है और वो वहीं पर है, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि 2 से 3 दिन के बाद अगर हम उस जगह पर जाकर के देखते हैं तो देखते हैं कि वो ऑर्गेनिजम्स वहां पर नहीं है। मीन्स दैट ऑर्गेनिज्म हैज बीन टोटली डिकम्पोज्ड बाय द एक्शन ऑफ द माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स। माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स उनको टोटली डिकम्पोज कर दिए हैं, ब्रेक डाउन कर दिए हैं, एंड दे हैव मेड इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सॉइल। एंड दिस decomposers is also very useful in cleaning the environment. Okay, so they can be also called that they are very important for our environment also, because they not only clean the environment, or they not only decompose those waste matter, but also clean the environment. Okay, ये हो गया हमारा एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट में। अब हम देखते हैं कि बायोटिक कंपोनेंट क्या क्या चीज से बना होता है। जैसे कि हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिया है कि ये एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट होते क्या हैं। ये सभी नॉन लिविंग कंपोनेंट होते हैं। दिस इंक्लूड्स द नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स इन विच लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म डिपेंड। अब लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म हम लोग भी है डिपेंड करते हैं, जैसे कंपोनेंट्स लाइक लाइट, टेम्परेचर, वाटर, एटमॉस्फेरिक गैसेस एंड विंड्स। हम सबको भी ये चीजों की जरूरत पड़ती है, यानी दे आर नथिंग बट एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट। तो लाइट क्यों है? लाइट एक प्राइमरी सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी है, बिकॉज सभी प्लांट्स इसी लाइट से अपना फूड ऑब्टेन करते हैं, फूड बनाते हैं, और वही फूड फिर हेट्रोट्रॉप्स उसको कंज्यूम करते हैं, यानी हेट्रोट्रॉप्स आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द ऑटोट्रॉप्स। दूसरा जो है टेम्परेचर है। टेम्परेचर कैसे ये डिपेंड करता है? डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स जो है वो जनरली टेम्परेचर पर डिपेंड करता है। यानी कोई प्लांट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो कि कम टेम्परेचर में ग्रो होते हैं, कोई ज्यादा टेम्परेचर में ग्रो होते हैं। मींस दिस टेम्परेचर इन्फ्लुएंस द प्लांट्स, ग्रोथ ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स ऑल्सो, बिकॉज ऑल द एनिमल्स कैनॉट सर्वाइव इन द सेम टेम्परेचर. So you can say that temperature plays important role in influencing this distribution of plants and animals. Now coming to this atmospheric gases. Atmospheric gases में हम क्या लेते हैं? जैसे ऑक्सीजन जो है सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हमारे लिए है O2, that is required for respiration, and carbon dioxide फॉर फोटोसिंथेसिस बाय द प्लांट्स. तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड यूटिलाइज्ड होता है फोटोसिंथेसिस में, और उसी टाइम रिलीज होता है ऑक्सीजन हमारे लिए बाय द प्लांट्स. मींस यू कैन से प्लांट्स रिलीज O2 ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस एंड कंज्यूम CO2 ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस. नाइट्रोजन इज मेड अवेलेबल टू plants by some certain bacteria and through the action of lightning. Certain bacteria, that is rhizobium bacteria, which is present in the root nodules of the plants of the pea or root nodules of the gram. So these bacteria are responsible for conversion. विंड का देखते हैं, तो विंड क्या करता है? विंड हेल्प्स इन पॉलिनेशन एंड सीड डिस्पर्सल ऑफ सम प्लांट्स. यानी ये पॉलिनेशन में भी हेल्प करता है, एक जगह से दूसरे जगह ये पॉलिनेशन, और एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पर सीड को डिस्पर्स करने में, ताकि वो सीड का जर्मिनेशन हो सके. तो ये विंड उसमें इंपॉर्टेंट प्ले करता है रोल. वाटर जो है ये हमारे लिए बहुत एक एसेंशियल कंपोनेंट है लाइफ के लिए. प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स जो डिपेंड करते हैं वो वैरी करते हैं ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर, बिकॉज सम एनिमल्स रिक्वायर मोर अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, सम एनिमल्स रिक्वायर लेस अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, सम प्लांट्स रिक्वायर मोर अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर लाइक पैडी, और सम प्लांट्स रिक्वायर्स लेस अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड in this in class 8th types of the crop, खरीफ और रबी क्रॉप्स, तो वो डिपेंडिंग ऑन वाटर होते हैं. इन नेक्स्ट लेक्चर हम देखेंगे ट्रॉफिक लेवल. सो वी विल सी दिस इन अपकमिंग लेक्चर्स. थैंक यू.